course, as we have beat to death at this point, Wichita Wolves are starting out on the attack in both regulation and overtime. And by extension, Nocturns will get the first ban.
Let's see what they ban first. Will it be Flores? Will it be Thatcher? Will it be a Heartbreacher? What are we seeing first on these bans? And really, I'm expecting like, a Thatcher, maybe a Maverick or Habana, or maybe a Flores, I don't know, or Valkyrie most likely, and a Mira, of course, probably too.
Here's my cam froze for a second. That was kind of odd.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Now we're all good now. We're all good now. That's actually never happened to me before. I've had my internet drop. I've had my audio device selected to something different, but I've just never had my camera drop. By the way, we'll be pausing, as unfortunately we had an issue with the lobby, so we have to remake that real quick. I know. But
technical difficulty.
Here's the thing: if Nocturns haven't made improvement, though, this could be a fairly quick game. So could just be padding in some time on the other end. Of course, we hope that Nocturns have made the requisite improvements, IGL change, maybe some role swaps as well. I imagine this could be a close one. Plus, as I said earlier, if they let Chalet get this far in the ban phase, I'm assuming they've at least prepped it somewhat and have accounted for the possibility that they would be starting on defense and have taken the requisite measures to bolster and strengthen them.
We talked about their support staff, like they said on the desk. They have quite the support staff to support. They have quite the people behind them to support them in the background. They should at least, foresee this happening and be able to, figure things out and not be totally lost in the sauce.
They're just going through the ban phase like, they're just picking maps at random, like, oh, Chalet, no, that was the one we didn't want. That was supposed to be our permaban. It's like, no, that's not happening. That's not how it works at this level. I mean, maybe it has at one point, but consistently and likely for Nocturns and for Dauntless, which I imagine that's not how it went during the ban phase. So I imagine they're going to be somewhat prepared. Of course, we'll be a few more minutes until we get everyone back in the lobby. Of course, everyone was ready, so unless someone went to go pick the order they got or food they got delivered, I imagine we'll be in the game pretty quickly. But I mean, for Benny, you mentioned the potential for a Flores ban. Nocturne starting out first. If they're looking to limit the power of the attack, I'd assume a Flores ban would be pretty good to try and make things a little bit more favorable for them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. A Flores ban would make the most sense. Get the Thatcher ban too as well to make it easy to keep those shields up for at least as long as possible. It'd be interesting to see maybe if Wichita Wolves were to ban Womai or ban Jaeger to make it difficult for those shields though in return. But at the same point, you miss bans like Mirror and Valkyrie though, which are very important.
Well, thankfully we're getting right back into the match. And Benny, if we want to talk about bans, I actually did just remember this. Nocturnes did ban Flores last week against IF on Oregon. So Chalet, another map that is very strong for Flores. Could likely see it come through. Could switch things up. Could just ban a Thatcher, because everyone does at this point. So we'll see if that's the avenue they decide to go with. And thankfully we are actually in the match. So we can find out in about 3 or so seconds.
What they gonna ban? What are you gonna get rid of? I'm assuming it'd be the Flores because you are on defense first. You gotta keep those shields up. And no, it's Lion actually. I've been proven wrong, and I guess it's a target ban because we've seen other teams ban Lion against Wichita Wolves because we'll see Mohes plays a lot of Lion and Thermite ban next. Ooh, we've got some interesting things going on today.
This has certainly been a different attacking ban phase than I thought we would have seen. Now, of course, while we did not predict the Lion, Outlast did, as you said, Benny. They banned it against Wichita Wolves last week, likely a target ban against Mohes. Though I will say, this is just going crazy. So, as I said, Wichita Wolves do love playing Mohes and the Lion. Good on Chalet. Thermite, not the hard breach ban I would have expected, but to start out the defensive ban phase, a Vigil? Again, not something I would have anticipated. Now to round things out with a Valkyrie, pretty standard defensive ban. I'm not at all surprised by that. But Benny, the other three, well, specifically the Thermite and the Vigil, what is that about? What's going on
It's interesting, though. Well, there are a lot of walls that need to be opened by Thermite. We've seen Thermite be kind of the mainstay hard breacher on Chalet, though, because when it comes to, office wall, dining wall, there's a lot of walls that need to be opened up for some of these attacks. And, well, if you give him a Habana or a Ace, it can make it difficult to, requisite to have those plants go down quickly. So maybe this is make it more difficult for the attacking team, whether it be Wichita Wolves or Nocturnes. But Wichita Wolves will have banned it, though. So I'm assuming Wichita Wolves have learned to be, to work around that Thermite.
And also, if my eyes do deceive me, I did look down for a second. Just gonna check. No, it actually. Here's everything's on the level. We do have that alibi, as I mentioned earlier, where Lackey had to get 2 kills with the bailiff. This time Sykes is on that role. Lackey will be taking up the Cade, as with a Thermite off the board, you have a lot more options in terms of hard destruction. Cade tricking is something that, with Thermite available, is not something you can really do. The timing of the Electric Claws is very slow. The timing of the Exothermics is a lot quicker, comparatively speaking. Now, with Ace, Hibana as some of the main primary hard breaches Wichita Wolves will likely take up, it's going to be a lot easier to destroy those with the with the Electric Claw. However, Benny, because of that line in Thermite ban, we still have Thatcher in play as well. So the impact of some standing K charges is not as powerful as it once was.
Yeah, usually they Kaid, they Electro Claw that wall into office below. We just saw the Kaid of Lackey put it down there, and yeah, you can easily just put an EMP and get rid of that Kaid Electro Claw. So interesting to see them, if a Kaid still effective with Thatcher on the board, and we'll see which one will start this out first. And of course, first one's first is Abenite killing call out. That's the greatest way to start a game. Greatest way to start a game is just have a team kill right off the bat.
Well, making space for Nocturns to get an opening in this round, we can at least appreciate that. Nocturns will likely be happy again, starting on the disadvantaged side. If you're just immediately starting things out with a kill on the other team with no cost to yourself, you didn't even have to do anything, let alone fire a shot. Gotta be very happy with that. And of course, most of Nocturne's defense is still intact. It's a fairly standard extension up to the top floor. You have somebody playing in Pillar with the mirror window, looking out in the library, but Freak has slowly crept his way into Mudroom. Now, unfortunately, he's spotted pretty quickly, but down to 50 HP, and he's forced to rotate out. And now the focus of Wichita Wolves is likely going to be on clearing Lackey out of Pillar, and the rest of the defense out from library.
That's your Hibana too, and those be needed to get rid of some of those mirrors as well.
That's just...
Yikes.
Only hard breacher. Now you got to focus on nades to route these people out.
Yeah, nades, get rid of the shields. You got to use those utility to get rid of all those players as much as you can. Gun 6 will help out too. So firing onto the person in blue, they'll push them out. EMP goes out too to try and stop anything from happening. Any Jaegers, any Mize that may stop those projectiles. But it looks like they're able to push those players out of their positions on the top floor, and they've all returned to that bottom floor, that first floor, and they're all mostly on site. I believe there's probably maybe one off site, they have one in dining. But for the most part, 4 players are on site, just kind of sitting around waiting.
Yeah, thankfully for Wichita Wolves, while they did lose call-out earlier, as you mentioned, the fact that Lackey and the rest of Nocturnes have decided to rotate down back to the site early on gives them a lot of leeway to act on this top floor, of course. And then brings up the issue, you now have to fight 5 people on the site. They almost find Lackey playing behind that bar or that stock mirror window, only taken down to about 75 HP. He can now rotate back out. Nade sends on in, does a little bit of damage. In fact, he rotates back in. The second one could fell him, but no. Put back in the pocket. That's an easy pre-fire for Lackey to ring out. Well, Hess just standing there, almost sent an nade down there earlier, but instead he's now just completely rotated off. Sykes tags on for a third. Everyone on Nocturnes, or at least 3 members, all putting in the work. Freak will manage to find 1, but now he's the only one left. He's got 2, but since he's in a 1v3, gotta find 3 people to cut through, and Exxon is the one that gets the final 2 kills for Nocturnes. They start things off with a defensive win.
Winning that unfortunately they lost to Hibana early, so those, even though in fact those mirrors were not electrified, they weren't anyway being stopped and being destroyed, you didn't have the hard bridging necessary to deal with it. So you just had to throw grenades in there, and well, I will say Wichita Wolves did, were able to clear the top floor, but it wasn't really, they didn't clear it themselves. They really, Nocturnes gave it to them. In the last second, they had the man advantage. There was time running out, and even though they had the sledge, they were getting the soft breaching done. They were trying to find things. They had no way of getting rid of those mirrors. They had nothing. They had no hard breaching. They tried to throw grenades behind them, but members from which Nocturnes were able to dodge those grenades that they had. And at that point, it was just kind of like, hey, we got to take fights with mirrors of people who are expecting our drop at this point. Well, you saw what happened there. Every single member went down one by one in the end. And Nocturnes will take the first win on their defensive bar and games. We go on to dining and kitchen for our next one.
Losing that ability to deal with those mirror windows early on really hurt Wichita Wolves in their take, even with the time that they had to clear out that bottom floor. Here, thankfully, they don't have to deal with that mirror window, no longer on the board. Instead, they've decided to go with the Goyo and the Frost as well. They get those deployable shields. They don't get those mirror windows, but still a lot of utility that the attackers have to cut through. Hopefully, if Callout can survive here, he can get some meaningful hard breaching, but not nearly as much as it would have been on Bar and Gaming. In all likelihood, if you want to keep your eye on Callout, if he can survive past the first 30 seconds, could open some of those office walls that you see Lackey standing next to right now. Likely the bar walls as well, or the dining walls downstairs as well. But beyond those two, that's about all you really need hard breaching for. So it's just a matter of getting those down early on and then clearing out the extension up top to facilitate a push in down below.
Very true there. Let's see how they clear out this top floor first. As we have people playing Pillar, people playing that Books hallway, and Freak's gonna be the first one to jump into games, looking to push up those blue stairs with the drone, of course, giving him intel who's up there. So looks down at jungle, make sure no one's peeking from long or short. Fucks You go pushes up forward, and nobody's really pushing him. Nobody's taking that fight. All the members of Nocturns are backing off for the moment, but at least, hey, they have good intel what's going on. They know the members in office who have to push out, and we'll see how well those Hibana charges, those X-Kairos do, rather than having an exothermic charge. Just which of those were the one that banned that side. So they're probably expecting to have a smaller hole to deal with and a smaller leeway of walking in.
That is sort of the issue. Thankfully for here on Dining, it's just a matter of using those holes to contain the defense as opposed to directly walking in and providing an avenue to move. Now, of course, the issue there is it's a little bit more rife for impact tricking and also not as much of an angle you can use at your disposal. And right here, Abunai just walks directly into a crossfire, trying to deal with Lackey on the Malusia and Marmalade all the way back in bedroom, finds himself taking shots from both areas, and Freak walks in with a bit lackluster info. Sykes just standing inside a piano. Freak walks in, looking the opposite way from the Goyo. Your entry combo on the Wichita Wolves is now gone. You're left with Call Out to try to make the way on in, and Nocturns have angles down below. Fells the Hibana the moment Call Out steps foot in that doorway. Mohes and Forest, the only two left alive. They have some good intel, one Rotero drone, or some good utility, one Rotero drone and one nade. But with so much damage sustained, what are the hopes they have of winning this round?
Not much utility to the name, and not much they can really do. Mohes trying to creep up those west main stairs, but somebody, it's a Jaeger of Marmalades, watching for that through the hole. So Mohes has got to be careful. He looks around, doesn't see the head of one, though. It's the Frost of Exile, but he still gets the head anyway. Great shot from Mohes. Another one peeks out. Jip, or Fico tries to fight that, but doesn't know what's on the stairs. That's going to be Marmalade to finish off Mohes. And it's Forest now. Forest is coming over this short hallway. He's pushing through jungle, looking up through the floor holes at office. Make sure nobody's waiting with that vertical pressure as he walks through the door. But really, what intel does he have with his last three players? He probably knows at least what was told Marmalades on Trophy Stairs, but it's all information he really has.
Thankfully, Mohes was able to get those 2 kills early, but with 25 seconds left, he does have Diffuser. Now he has to rotate out. Decide, does he want to try and go for the kills on the top floor or rotate down below? Appears he'll decide to do the latter, but this is the issue. Because Nocturnes has free control of the vertical up top, they can easily deny this plant if they have the holes in the floor that they need. With 10 seconds, he'll creep his way on in, try to go for the bomb plant, an honorable attempt, but surely Nocturnes have the intel and the positioning. Could get it down successfully, that'll be 1 point for the cost, and now he has time to deal with any potential challenges to this position. Nobody from Nocturnes has actually rotated down yet, so Forest actually has quite a bit of time to set things up, and look, they're all moving down library stairs. If there was ever a 2v5 in the making, this is surely the round Forest could win. 2 will rotate into kitchen. Nocturnes do still have the man advantage, and they will manage to find Forest through the wall. Excellent spray by Sykes, maybe lucky more than anything, and I'm not gonna lie, that could have been played a little bit better by Nocturnes. But they still come out with the victory in the end, so who's to criticize?
They had the man advantage. You can't criticize them, I guess. They won the round.
But they let the bomb go down, and 3 people all start moving down library stairs. That was a little bit worrying.
That was funny. They were walking a line. It was the conga line at that point.
I'm not gonna lie, I was talking over that, and I see Forrest getting the bomb down. I'm like, okay, he's gonna die. Okay, they're gonna shoot him. Oh, okay, he's got the bomb down. Well, I didn't expect us to get that far. So.
But you know, that round was just like they were trying to deal with that Rome game upstairs, and it was Wichita Wolves. They had the intel, sort of. It was Nocturnes. You know, they had the extension towards the library, but they back off as soon as they see the incoming pressure from Wichita Wolves, and they all back off towards piano, towards office, and they have the walls closed. And you saw that the impact trick there destroyed the X-Kairos, made it more difficult to make a hole into office. And there wasn't also any other real angle from Wichita Wolves. There was one member on the big window, but it was a bit late because the member was a Marmalade. Marmalade was playing master bedroom and got a kill off of that on the person on the balcony. And nobody was there on the big window ready for that refrag either. So unfortunately, it seems like Wichita Wolves weren't exactly set up for that take.
That's what I was curious about, because I thought I remember maybe somebody being in that area, but the fact that Marmalade was able to play so close to the wall indicates that, as you said, Benny, Wichita Wolves, they might have had somebody there later, but not at the time where they were actually entering into piano. On top of that, nobody was contesting over by Solar as well. So an entire side of the map, arguably one of the more important ones for Nocturne setup, was completely uncontested, and Wichita Wolves were forced to just push into angles, sometimes by design, or were forced into, as in the case with Abunai trying to take that fight and enter an office, or sometimes by choice, where Freak just pushed on into piano, not really having enough intel on anybody's position, and ended up dying anyway. So for Wichita Wolves, it was a very one-dimensional and a very sloppy execute or take of that top floor overall. Not only not containing the roamers there, but also just playing into it a little bit more than they probably needed to if they got some of those more requisite positions. So, going towards here, Nocturns have now run 2 defensive sites in a row. If I'm being entirely honest, that is... I wouldn't say that is definitely better than I thought they were going to get, but for Chalet attack, that is a really good thing. They won Bar, they won Kitchen, and now if they can win Master Bedroom and Office, this is the round where I think after Wichita Wolves have had some time to talk, if Nocturns are still able to win this site, which is, I think I might be wrong, I don't have the exact statistic. I believe it is the worst, the most attacker site, or the... Well, yes. But I think this is the worst site in terms of the defense on Chalet. If Nocturns can win this after a Wolves timeout, I'm feeling scary about my prediction. I'm feeling
I think we all
scary.
are, really. Yeah, we're all probably a bit, scared here seeing the rounds. We're all a bit worried for our predictions at this point, seeing as the rounds have gone by. And so we'll see what happens this round. This round will probably solidify our worry if they win another one. And yeah, this top floor is very difficult because of how many different angles you can create. People have a big window, people on solarium stairs, people taking from from that balcony side, from the office balcony. So it is a difficult one to do, especially with teams like Wichita Wolves. I'm assuming where they're going to create a good angle. And actually, Colin, are they already in the building? Colin just runs with the bearing 9, kills Exile on trophy stairs. They have control of Solarium at this point. They can push into bathroom, take control of master bedroom, open them all up, and get a plant down. Flashes come up, call out trying to push members back into piano from the members of Nocturns. And now Nocturns, what is their play now? As there looks like members are roaming, have been cut off. What is going on?
Well, what's going on is Abonai could potentially get 2 kills. Yes, he will. He's found both the Gone 6 to get that second one, with Freak getting another one. It's a flawless round for Wichita Wolves. Callout ends things out. I mean, I didn't exactly hype this side up, but the way Wichita Wolves took that, I don't know if they were talking over their execute in the comms before we got into the round, or if they saw an opening and went with it. Well, that round might have been on fast forward, but that was still impressive, even though it's Master Bedroom Office. Great round from Wichita Wolves to get that momentum back.
Yeah, that was crazy because I think it was Callout and Abonai just jumped into bathroom, having a member on those solarium windows, allowing them to jump in, take control, and I guess they had droned and knew 2 people or 3 people were downstairs inside a trophy, inside a dining, so they took perfect time to jump in, take control of solarium, deal with the player on trophy stairs, and basically cut the roamers off from being able to come back to site. So the last 2 players on site have to deal with Wichita Wolves, and the last 2 players downstairs are like, well, what do we do now?
That was just obviously a very, very quick take by Wichita Wolves. You don't need me to tell you that or give you that qualitative assessment, but still, that was a round we needed to see from Wichita Wolves, who seemed to be letting things get away from them in the first couple rounds. And this round here, just like last round was a test for Nocturns, this round is going to be a test for Wichita Wolves. Going back to Bar and Dining, a much more better site for the defense. Again, as you pointed out earlier, Benny, still not great for Chalet overall, but still one of the better sites for the defense. What started the downward spiral for Wichita Wolves here was losing Callout early on to a team kill by Abonai, and then further losing the man advantage by not sufficiently playing around these mirror windows. If they have Callout in play and they're able to clear out the top floor effectively, I think this round should go a lot cleaner for the Wolves.
Yeah, I would assume so too. Like, it's just little things they need to figure out things. Like, just little bits, change things up, and not shoot, Call in the face, definitely like you said.
True.
But let's see what they do this time. And yeah, they should have the necessary utility to deal with these mirror windows and not be pretty much struck still and not able to push forward because those mirror windows stop them in place. Like they literally can't drop into games. They can't drop in with a mirror window sitting there. And they have no hard breaching to deal with the mirror window or even open up stock from another angle to deal with those players sitting there. So, well, they have a good angle on 2 members. Actually, no, I think they only one, actually. Blackie gets 1 kill. He gets refragged by Freak, and the second player, unfortunately, cannot get the refrag onto Freak, so Freak gets 2 for that 2-for-1 deal there. Great job for Wichita Wolves, and great start compared to that first round.
Good 2 kills, but I will say, look at how low of health Freak is right now. He was playing behind that drone incredibly closely, and when him and Forrest swung in, I don't know if there was exactly full intel on the players playing inside of Dining. With how low health Freak was, this could very well be a 3v5 right now if Freak isn't able to get those kills. But of course, he did. So the strategy from Wichita Wolves able to clear out that bottom floor of Dining and now fully solidify their control up top. A lot better position. With Lackey and FICO downstairs, since Wichita Wolves are staking a lot of their clear inside of Master Bedroom and Office, they don't have to worry about their C4s from below. Now they can more effectively clear out Sykes. Of course, they do still have to deal with Marmalade with these Shumika grenades. but they don't have to deal with any secondary utility from below. And it only cost Forest for both Lackey and FICO.
Yeah, I would definitely say it seemed like maybe they only knew one player was playing in Dining when they made that push. They didn't maybe expect the second one, but still works out for them. And well, Sykes and Marmalade are now pushing up to try and keep control of that top floor for as long as they can. You know, the Showmaking Launcher should deal with Abnai and the other player off by Office for a little while. The question is now the X-Gauss as well on the side of Call to deal with any other, you know, mirror windows and see if they can get rid of this mirror window inside of stock. Marmalade expecting someone going below to maybe intercept or to pinch out her as she stays on there on those library stairs. For the moment, nobody from Roach Wolves is really doing anything crazy. They're pushing in upstairs actually to Pillar, looking to deal with Sykes, but Sykes will back off.
So they thankfully have that top floor, and while it does come a little bit later than it did previously, they have managed to find 2 kills against Nocturns, but now here's the same issue. Marmalade is still, well, never mind, I was about to say Marmalade is still able to play behind that mirror window, but no! She rotates out with nobody watching. She does get some of those Hibana charges, but enough still remain on the reinforcement to destroy that mirror window. Now it's a lot easier to clear Marmalade out of this position. She does still have the Shumika grenades, so if anybody tries to vault in bar window and go for a plant, she can send those 7 remaining nades on over and light up the area on fire the moment they try to plant, but she's not lighting them on fire, she's lighting them up with bullets. 2 for her so far, and the round goes to Nocturns. They win bar gaming 2 times in a row. They might have suffered some losses early on, but the remaining 3 made up for it come the final 30 seconds.
Wow, that was a pretty great start for Wichita. Well, I mean, no, I say not as usual because that was not usual actually. That was a really good start compared to the other rounds. Able to get those 2 picks, able to deal with those players roaming. But then they go into the execute, and well, at least Sykes and Marmalade did so well in just keeping time and trying to make it difficult for Wichita Wolves to take that top floor. And they did waste, you know, probably a good 20 seconds more than they maybe might not be able to do if they didn't do that. So they were able to stop it to the last 30 seconds. And at that point, Wichita Wolves had to go into full gear to make the execute happen. And you saw it wasn't quite a synchronized execute. Members of Wichita Wolves jumped into that window. You saw one on the top floor in that window try to deal with Marmalade, but wasn't able to do it. So the other player jumps in that window, dies to Marmalade as well. And then you saw other players in a later date, only by a few seconds, try to push bar in those last 9 seconds. It was Sykes. It was another player, Exod, playing behind the bar, ready and waiting for those players able to finish out the round. So even though Wichita Wolves had the great start, again, time was the issue there really for them.
Well, here's what I will say for Nocturns. They've certainly had a great start as well. 3 rounds on Chalet defense, even if they lose the next 2, if they've really ironed out some of the kinks on their attacks, this is very much a winnable game for them. Very much a winnable game. Of course, we've yet to see Wichita Wolves' defenses, but if you recall, Benny, against Livid, a lot of those were won in 1vx's, and while it does show a little bit... It is a little bit of a point against Livid that Wichita Wolves were able to win so many 1vx's. It is also still fair to mention that many of the Wolves' defenses needed somebody to go huge in order to win. Now that they're not getting these rounds here, and they've secured themselves at max and even half, that is worrying unless they've also taken the time to iron out some of those kinks as well. Moving to bar and dining here, this was the site where many bodies were lost early on. Force was the only one left. Had to get the diffuser down in a 1v3, and the entry struggled once again. This time, Wichita Wolves have rotated over to Solarium and are making their take there this time. And as opposed to the previous attempt, they'll win the opening duel against Marmalade.
Oh yeah, Mahes holding that window for Exod to hold off and cover any kind of aggression. Great job to get Marmalade the first kill. Marmalade peeking out the window, gets taken out by Mohes, and really, now this is much more a different take when it comes to that top floor. They're not running into what you expect. Abner with a great grenade in the FICO as well. Is another curious person going to peek the window? Yes. Looks like the person that's the Malusi of Lackey. We'll try to peek it, but we'll see the shots come through and back off. And it's Nocturns, unfortunately, on this roam, weren't quite expecting that Solarium take from the side of Wichita Wolves, and they're in a bit of a hard place, but they were in a man disadvantage last round. They still won it, so this could still go their way. They can salvage these members, but no, member after member is going down. Lackey will get taken out in a 5v2.
Break managing to send that to a 5v2. I think this is going to be very difficult for Nocturns to win. No more C4s on the defense, and the only one left now is Exod. No more friends to rely on. He's got to make a play. We'll see them starting to move down trophy stairs. Misses the shots on one. Will manage to land the shots on the second, but now on low HP. With everybody barreling towards him, yeah, that's going to be a lost round for Nocturns. And there, you can really pin a lot of the success on that rotation to that Solarium take. Take out Marmalade very quickly because she rotates over to that library window, or that book's window, to try and take down the players on the balcony. They've already accounted for that. They take her down pretty quickly. Once they got the nade onto the player on library stairs as well, that was indicative to me that Wichita Wolves were not only in a very good spot to win that round, but also they had fixed a lot of those issues from the previous bar attack. Now, you've taken out that player on that position. You can get your entries in a lot more effectively. The second floor is now much more open to you than it was previously. Sykes is really the only one left who can contest it. That was just night and day, not only in terms of the direction of Wichita Wolves' attack, but the strength of it as well, compared to their previous bar or their previous kitchen dining defense.
Yeah, I would say like, even just the speed of which they they got ready and got in those places for that take. Slaying window on the bathroom balcony, had Mohess repelling, covering the person on the balcony. Much different when it comes to just how quickly and how efficient they were on that take. So we go upstairs, back to a master and office defense for Nocturns. And if we remember correctly, it was Wichita Wolves who just sped run this round. I thought it was on fast forward how quickly it went.
It was an extremely quick round from Wichita Wolves. They saw an opening inside a bathroom. The person playing piano was much further up, closer to library, so they found an opening, ran straight into bathroom, took down the person on library stairs, and were able to set up the beachhead of their attack directly next to the site. That's about as much as you can ask for an attacking team. They were in an extremely good spot. We'll see an adjustment here. Sykes moving to the castle, likely to try to close off some of those points of entry for Wichita Wolves if they try to go for a Solarium take again. And it appears, Benny, with everyone spawning on that side of the map, I think Wichita Wolves are taking notes from their success last round and trying to replicate that in this go.
Well, see if they can or not. They're seeing these castle barricades in the way, and even if they destroy them all, it should at least scream what their intent is and what they're trying to do this round. As they're on the bathroom balcony once again, they're on the solarium windows, and let's see what difference Nocturnes is doing when it comes to this play, other than whoa, a shot from Exod right through the little slit of the door onto the bathroom window to get that first pick, and now the entry isn't there for Wichita Wolves. Can they still create this execute, having lost that first person? Mohess will be on the balcony now to take place for Freak. Whether or not they can actually make this happen is going to be interesting.
Issue here right now is now that you've lost Freak, a lot of the importance falls onto Abunai. And also one thing I've noticed, Benny, Abunai is now rotated back to the entry role. We saw him on that soft breach, who, well, it's been headed by Mohess this go around. Now that he's lost the line, he's on the soft breach. He's found a kill as well, landed that refrag. Exot as well, the very person who took down Freak. But could this be a returnal of form to the previous Wichita Wolves? Well, not in this round so far. Abunai is able to find some success on the entry, push his way up library stairs, and has regained the minute for Wichita Wolves with his kill onto Sykes. But now here's the issue. With all these castle barricades, Wichita Wolves have the utility. They're going to need to wait, or they're going to need to burn a lot of time in order to gain entry into the site.
Well, it looks like the more intel coming through as Abunai used that replicator to figure out who's around and what members are there. Mohess looking for a chance to jump in the bathroom, aware of that library window where someone might shoot him down. Abunai trying to poke through the hole because they're trying to get rid of that mute jammer, because the mute jammer is stopping the X-Kairos. Looks like X-Kairos will open up and Kahlo just pre-fire, killing Marmalade, playing that position. Unfortunately, right behind a soft wall. And now at this point, they have entry into sight. Can they get this execute down? What does Nocturnes have in their pocket? It's one C4 is the only thing can stop the execute or stop this, the plants. But otherwise, there's still down 2 members in this execute. And Lackey goes down. It's only FICO in a 1v4. He's got to take out 4 members, which rolls in a quick manner here as they go for the execute. C4 could help out and propel him further into it, but at this point, I'm pretty sure Wichita knows exactly what his position is. The grenade comes out. FICO unaware, just trying to wait for someone to peek their head out and maybe make a mistake on the side of Wichita Wolves. Another grenade comes through. FICO knows one's bathroom. One of the big window. Great shot with G11. He pushes through, knows where the diffuser is, saw them plant it there, and another great shot on Abunai. It's now a 2v1. It's one in bathroom on the bathroom balcony. Carlos on the trophy stairs. This could be possible for FICO. He has a C4 in hand. Can he get rid of the trophy player with that C4? Doesn't know where they are. Oh my god, he gets away from one, but no, he can't win the fight. He gets call out. It's Wichita Wolves to take round 6 and 3-3 to end the half at a, it's even.
Dead even for Wichita Wolves. Not exactly the place you want to be on Chalet attack, but maybe they've really worked on those defenses, and this is the part where we're going to see Wichita Wolves shine. But the issues they had early on weren't as prevalent towards the end, but those were some exceptionally poor attacks early on from Wichita Wolves. Abunai, again, I mentioned earlier, he's now back on the entry, and their usage around that Yana didn't really appear to make a lot of use of her gadget. It was just putting Abunai on the entry in areas where he has been before in stage 2. and they were losing a lot of those fights. And Freak as well, not to put all the blame on Abunai, they both just seemed a lot of the time to be just sending themselves into engagements that they didn't have a lot of the intel for. Wichita Wolves were heavily losing the early game, but then they made a transition, in some cases to Solarium takes, in some cases to a lot quicker pushes backed by intel and then quick aggression to capitalize off of it. That transition is what got them those later couple rounds. For Nocturns, this was a team that had a lot of issues with their attacking side, but thankfully for them, they get to start out attacking basement, which is not exactly one of the best sites on Chalet either.
Well, if Wichita Wolves are going to basement, I'm assuming they have some kind of plan, because this is this is like the worst site on Chalet because of how difficult it is to hold, especially if you open up red, you open that wall into wine cellar, you open up that wall between, you know, the north side coming into wine cellar. There's so many angles you can create as the attackers, so I'm assuming Wichita Wolves have something in plan here, because the site, I think one time I've seen the site go well is when we saw Aqualix play the everyone roam strat and everyone just take fights immediately.
Yeah, and that's sort of the issue with basement, is that in order to make this site work, you need to roam. But if that roam doesn't work out, it's extremely difficult to hold that site, not only with the man disadvantage, but also because of that one core strategy no longer working. Right now for Nocturns, they've immediately sent it into Big Garage, quickly taken this control. They will hold back for a second. They're not just going to send it on in and rush. They're going to need to gain some intel on the players playing inside. And also, if you want to look at Marmalade on that Hibana, they still need to open that red wall and the wall that FICO is looking at right now. Those are two important positions that if they want to take the site, they do need to clear those out on top of dealing with the roam, which at the moment, I'm wondering if Nocturns are going to deal with it, because we don't see anybody posturing or making any moves upstairs at the moment.
Looks like they're trying to destroy those electroclaws first to get these walls open between red and sight. And this person on the bottom stairs, on the west main stairs, they got the Mozzie of Freak, you know, playing with them, shooting shots, scaring Nocturns, causing them to at least to wait and waste time as the EMP will go out. So they should be getting these walls open. And the question is, what does Wichita Wolves have in store for them to stop them from making this happen? As you know, Freak is the only person really threatening them for the moment.
That's sort of the issue with this site. If you don't clear out the roam, they're always going to be at your back like that, and there are some good flanking avenues, especially those west main stairs. Of course, if Nocturns have somebody watching, could not be all that useful, but Wichita Wolves, if that dining hatch is open, which I'm not sure if it is or not, but they could make a good use of that angle as well. Going forward, now a minute and 45 seconds has passed. Doesn't appear that Nocturns are all that inclined to clear out those players upstairs, but we have a minute left, and they've managed to open these walls. But beyond that, now they do have to push on in, and with those players, you can see stacked up inside of dining. I believe that's the Mozzie and somebody else as well. The moment Nocturns walk in, they need to kill those players on the hatch, or everyone on the entry Nocturns is going to get cut down. It's a late rotate up, but the damage is already done by Nocturns' complacency with that position. FICO manages to find one. That's Mohes. His C4 dropped to the floor, but they're still in good positions. Wichita Wolves are to make this work. Lackey thankfully managed to land a pre-fire onto Freak, and now man advantage is in the attack's favor.
There's another one upstairs, the Malusi of Abunai is the last player on the top floor in dining. That could prove to be a problem, but at this point, time is running out. Nocturns have to pivot into an execute. They get to push on site. There's intel and call out. Great time. Abunai from above denies the plant entirely, so Nocturns execute is going out the window. Abunai gets the last one with call out in store, and Wichita Wolves will take the first defense.
And that is how attacking teams lose basement more often than not. They clear out downstairs. They don't clear out downstairs, but they open up many avenues into sight downstairs. They open up those two walls, the trench wall or the wine wall, and the wall at the bottom of west main stairs. They open those two up. That's all well and good. But if teams on the defense open up that dining hatch, they can watch both the walls you just opened, the one doorway on that side of the map, and now your job of clearing out a site that is fairly easy to clear out just became a hell of a lot harder. Nocturns recognized that, but they rotated up with only a minute left and had to rely on getting those kills just by taking gunfights. Thankfully, they managed to work, but because they still needed to execute onto the site, you still had one player, I believe it was Freak, left on that hatch, who got a kill on Marmalade, planting the bomb. Lateness and clearing out that roam upstairs, even if you get the majority of the roamers, if there's even one left alive and you have to dedicate 3, 4 bodies downstairs to get that execute down to clear out those remaining anchors, the odds of you losing the round are dramatically higher than if you manage to clear out the realm early on.
Either way, it's like just getting to that red zone is a problem though. You can't be leaving the execute to the end of the round like that. And just we saw Nocturns, they sat around for quite a while where they had the walls open, but they didn't have an execute right there. They didn't deal with the roamers until later on in the round when it was the dying minute in the execute. So it's just unfortunate for Nocturns. They really couldn't put together until the last 9 seconds. And like you said before, the hatch was still open. Still members on the hatch. Ab and I was there waiting to stop the plant as long as members on site who were still playing in blue, playing in 90. So unfortunately for Nocturns, they couldn't make the workout. We go to the top. Was the top floor dying? The top floor.
Top floor.
Master bedroom and office. And they have to, let's see how Nocturns can deal with this first push. They're going to push up. They're going to ping things out and see who's playing aggressive. But no one from Wichita Wolves is really holding onto the library or pillar quite really hard at all.
Instead of taking after Wichita Wolves and going for a Solarium take, they will, I believe, actually take after early Wichita Wolves and instead take this from library side. Of course, this is a little bit more difficult with the Hibana as opposed to the Thermite, but Nocturns will quickly make do. Open up good portions of that wall. That right panel right there they're opening is likely where Marmalade will push on in to try to get the bomb down once they get that control necessary. But this was also where Wichita Wolves struggled on their attack, trying to entry into Piano and into the site without contesting with too many angles. Or without contesting enough angles, I should say. It's an important distinction. Because if Nocturns don't rotate over to places like Bathroom or places like Master Bedroom, they could face a lot of problems. But the fact that Lackey is making his way over there, it's going to be difficult. But I have a lot more confidence in Nocturns now that they've made those rotations.
Freak also getting aggressive and peeking out of that double door into Book's hallway. Oh, won't do any damage. He'll take some damage himself. And now there is one person, I believe, on the big window, but I believe this Zofia of Lackey, who may be scared someone's going to run out of trench on them if they are sitting on that rappel. It looks like, yeah, Lackey's staring at that trench, thinking someone's going to run out and kill them. It's forced. Lackey does get a kill. Actually, it's actually on the somewhere else with that. He gets a second kill. One with the Claymore, another with his LMG. So that all that aggression to stop that big window is, well, pretty much nullified.
Excellent play by Lackey on that window. He's rotated down now, but can easily rotate back up. Marmalade's able to spot Freak playing inside of Piano, and with intel on the player playing inside of Bathroom, that's an easy pre-fire for Sykes. Abonai's the only one left. He is Echo, so that's very impactful utility, but against 5 players, he knows he probably has to take a few gunfights if he wants to try to win this out. Pre-fire doesn't land on the player playing outside of Piano, and with Lackey still on that bedroom window, a lot more difficult to rotate back in between sites to try and regain your position. He's managed to win the gunfight there and also put Marmalade to low HP, so while I wouldn't say winnable, it's a lot more plausible that Abonai could come away with this. There's Yokais as well, could be some intel relayed to his team, but everyone from Nocturns has now completely backed off. And Abonai has to make those fights happen instead of being gifted to them by the attack. With about 8 seconds left, he's not able to take one more than the one he got earlier. Nocturns even things up 4-4.
Ended up being kind of the same attack you just see on that site, opening with the offense wall, going for that plant by that half wall, but members from Wichita Wolves are a bit aggressive, taking fights here and there, and the one thing that Wichita Wolves were making sure they could try and deal with was that play in the big window, because we've seen time and time again how powerful that big window player can be, cutting off this site in half. So having forced, and I believe it was Mohes, try and run out and deal with them. I believe one jumped out the trophy window, one ran out of trench at the same time, and well, there was a Claymore on one, there was an LMG watching the other, and Lackey gets both of them in that endeavor, making it 2-3v5 on site. And the members of Nocturns at that point just open the wall up, they go for that plant, they have the request, they basically have the man advantage to hold the angles they need to and deny Nocturns or deny Wichita Wolves from stopping from planting at that point. And even though one player was the Echo, I believe, did he have any Yokais at that point to even stop the plant?
Abonai had one Yokai that he positioned right above the player planting, but instead he got off and maneuver to start taking fights with players. Like, he tried to take a fight with Lackey on the rappel, tried to fire some shots and kill Marmalade as she was rotating off the plant, but he did have Yokais, but he did not try to use them. It appears he made the conscious decision to start taking fights, because I don't think that second Yokai actually got destroyed.
I'm assuming maybe it was just because there's too much time left, too, because they lost members early.
Oh, yeah, too much time left, and it's also a 1v5. Like,
yeah,
you can stun those Yokais, but you're not going to have enough time, and you're still in a 1v5. Like,
yeah, it's like in the end, the fact that all the rest of those players weren't there. It was a 3v5 on site. It's pretty difficult to win from that once you're trying to, take the man count back in your favor at that point too. So unfortunate for Wichita Wolves. It's now tied up 4-4. We go over to our Bar Games defense.
At bar games, it appears that Nocturns are starting to take things quickly. I might be wondering if they're just going to entry up West Main. I thought surely they're not going to rotate all the way over to main stairs, but no, there is one player playing over by Library, and oh, nice shot by Sykes. Doesn't actually get intel based off the Yana clone, but Mo saw that Yana clone sprint on by, got a bit antsy, shot it, and that gave Sykes enough intel to pre-fire through that wall, and luck be a lady, managed to get the opening pick. That is so far not been traded out by Wichita Wolves, and I don't think really can be unless Freak manages to make something happen. And I made me eat my words, or I almost ate my words. Does get that trade and is so far contesting Solar Stairs, but likely not for long.
Well, can Freak get away alive though? Looks like another player on Trophy Stairs, looking maybe to get that refrag. And is there a player I saw? I think I saw a silhouette elsewhere, but maybe not. But it looks like they aren't able to get that refrag. It looks like it will be Freak to walk away alive. And as Thunderbird also get that, that saving grace. But never mind, maybe not. There's another player there. It's about Marmalade from the hallway, or from the balcony will get that refrag, but doesn't know the half wall. Abonai is there, ready and waiting. Can Abonai take out Marmalade as well? But no, Abonai is going to back off and stay alive for the moment. Use one of those Hakona stations and get some health back and try to return back to site, or at least return to a situation where he can hold off.
It appears that Wichita Wolves' philosophy for this defense is all of it. They want to defend the entire map. You had somebody downstairs inside of the kitchen. You had somebody over on Solar, had somebody contesting Master Bedroom Office. Now, of course, they've rotated off, but Abonai able to even that 3-3. And still with some deployable shields alive on that library stairs. You have Exile on the Thatcher, who can burn any ADSs or things like that. But you now have to rely solely on FICO for that remaining utility. If he can get it into the proper positions. I imagine he can, but no. One magnet catches it, but I believe the other lands and is capable of destroying that shield. Force is already rotated down, so position is completely clear. But look at the time. 45 seconds left right now, and there is still one player sitting inside of library. That's Abonai. At the forefront of the remaining defenders, you also, I believe, have Forest waiting on those library stairs. Two prongs of the defense that Nocturnes still have to deal with, because if they just push on down, it's exactly like the basement attack. They can just peer on through hatches and down stairwells and take you down as you go in for the execute. But Nocturnes, that means they have to take these fights with these players on the top floor, and they're running out of time to do so. Half of those 40 seconds have now elapsed, and Forest, rotating back into the site, is slowly baiting one player down the library stairs. In fact, they've all rotated down, and the fights are going just about as well as you would expect. Call on Forest, both get one each. Marmalade has to find 3 more if she wants to send her team up 5-4. But with 2 seconds left, gets on the diffuser. Easy gunfight for Wichita Wolves to win. They retake the lead.
Unfortunate for Nocturnes, able to get those, get those trades and make it even almost at that point into a 3v3 kind of roam clear the top floor, but they didn't have quite the intel or the utility needed to really deal with those players, and they didn't really take the time either they needed to. It's kind of interesting that they kind of got those trades, got to that position where they're going to push pillar, push library stairs, and they just kind of stopped and waited for a little bit there.
Yeah, it always seemed that even though they got that opening pick, it always seemed like the engagements after that, there was always one little piece of intel that seemed lacking. One player that had escaped their line of sight. They get Mo, but they don't read Freak on Solar Stairs till the very last second. In fact, they might have read him, and maybe the player just lost the fight. That's a possibility. But then they move on forward. They find Freak hiding out over in Master Bedroom Office. They take him down. They don't know Abonai sitting inside there. He's able to swing out, get a kill, and because of the setup that Wichita Wolves won with, he can actually rotate back out all the way into pillar since he killed the player, watching his very position. Now it's like, okay, it's a 3v3. Now Nocturnes have to take the part of the map that most teams are able to take at that point because of how extended Wichita Wolves were and how successful their defense seemed to be because of Nocturnes always being just one step behind certain members of the defense.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, maybe a planned thing for Mo to get killed there and have a refrag, but it's just kind of one step after another.
They planned on Mo dying.
Yeah, because this is like Mo dies, and then Freak's there at the top of the stairs, ready for that, and then you have Abonai playing in Master Office, ready for that too to cover him.
Yeah, actually part of that timeout towards the end, Wichita Wolves are mainly focusing on their attacks, and then Mo's like, yeah, Forceful, I still have some questions about this part of strat subsection 7-2A. Do I really need to die for that strat to work? Can I,
do I have to be the bait? Can someone else be the bait?
Can I play a safer position, maybe, where I could use my C4?
Call it like bait. Put call in that role. I don't want to be bait.
This is all jokes, of course. That is, in all likelihood, not part of the strategy.
Not actual. This is all fantasy. We're all just speaking nonsense.
Unless it is. In which case, we're right, I guess.
If it was actually true, that'd be crazy. That'd be some.
That would be pretty
that'd
funny.
be 300 IQ for Forceful.
Well, anyway, kitchen and dining. Benny, Wichita Wolves are going for. Nothing too crazy with it. We are seeing an Aruni, which I don't believe we saw on Nocturne's defenses, despite how prevalent she is on this map.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I didn't think it's gonna Rooney all this match yet. Actually, maybe I'm just crazy and we didn't actually think about it. But
I don't think we have. I don't think we have.
I don't think we have either. That's surprising because the Roni hasn't been nerfed yet, so I'm surprised you don't see Rooney all the time.
He's prepping for it.
Yeah,
mentally preparing.
Yeah. They're practicing, making sure they don't play Rooney anymore after Roni gets nerfed. But this round up, we haven't seen a dining kitchen defense yet from Wichita Wolves, and well, there's a jump out.
All right, well, that didn't work.
That reminds me when Lackey jumped out the other day when we were playing at Chalet. He just jumps out a trophy window all of a sudden. We're just like, what the? Anyway.
Good. Play Forest.
Unfortunately, lose your pulse early in the round.
Lackey onto Forest. Oh, that was the pulse as well. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that was the pulse too. So there's intel out the window for Wichita Wolves. Abinette takes a bit of damage from a grenade from below, I believe from FICO. And well, looks like Nokturns are trying to make this position happen while as we just watch Sykes stare into the basement. Agza gets killed into Mohes. Call it with the kill. Call it's on site, really. Just looking around, and I'm pretty sure this top floor of Rome is doing somewhat okay. They're trying to pull back the man advantage, but so far it's not been looking good for Wichita Wolves.
It's not looking too great so far, but that is a nice angle by Abinite to watch the bottom of West Main Stairs. So with that angle and still a fair bit of side control in Wichita Wolves' hand, it's not unwinnable. They can certainly still do a lot with what they have so far, and the only problem is Nocturnes have a lot of time to clear out these positions. They have the Solarium Repel. They still have a couple nades to send on in. Sykes is even clearing out down below, maybe to try to add another dimension to this push to try to pinch them out. But he's rotating all the way over to Library, so maybe just trying to take them off guard later on in the round. We yet to see what his full impact is, but it does appear that he's going to try to get that cutoff, and he might very well spot Call Out rotating over. Oh, it's actually a trade. He manages to land the shots, but a trade only favors Nocturnes based on Wichita Wolves being down one man. Abinai's still up top. They forgot about him. He's able to take down FICO, and getting control of up top is important. But as I mentioned with Nocturne's defense at this site earlier, you need to have those holes up top in order to deny the plant from the second floor. Abinai either doesn't have that or wants to rotate down, and he'll commit to this first floor. Marmalade bombs on the floor, almost able to catch her off, but no, he suffers the majority of damage in that engagement. Now Marmalade can fully reposition. One bullet will be the death of Abinai, and it's one bullet that finds him. Nocturnes, we continue this game of back and forth. They win round number 10.
Even score line left and right. It keeps staying a tie. Both teams neck and neck again and again. And for that round, we saw again the early kill from Forrest. Forrest jumps out that coat window, trying to find a kill on somebody out by West Main. Unfortunately, he was totally red. Somebody turns around, just waits for it. He looks at the way.
Like you're just like, okay.
Yeah, all right then. I hear you coming. Yeah, you hear from a mile away. but yeah, that happens. They get another pick upstairs as well, or I believe it was Exod gets a pick on somebody elsewhere. I'm not sure where it was from, but member from Wichita Wolves go down, and just even though that you saw Abinai, you saw members like Abinai and Mohes try and bring it back, it was just they were already in man disadvantage, and they couldn't get any kind of multi kills, any kind of break from any of the players to really bring it back in their favor. They lost control of site in the end too because of that, and they're able to plant down 2v1. Abinai trying to take it back, walking back to site. They knew where he was coming from too, so. Unfortunate for Wichita Wolves. Nocturnes bring it back into time. We go to our top floor defense for Wichita Wolves. Not first time.
No, not the first time. But unfortunately for them, this was a round that Nocturnes did manage to win. They got the plant down. I believe it was just on that half wall position. But this was a very strong round for Nocturnes here. If you recall, it started out like he got a Claymore kill onto Mohes, jumping out of that trophy window, and then Forrest ran out of the trench door, and since Lackey had one of the two counters to his position claymored off, he was just looking at the other one, anticipating a run out for Forrest, and took him down. That was an early 3v5 in which the Wolves weren't able to manifest some kind of counter to not only Lackey's play, but to the take overall from Nocturnes at that point, because with the man advantage, the attack quickly rotated into their positions, won a couple more gunfights, and the bomb going down at that point was an inevitability more than a possibility.
Yeah, at that point it was almost impossible to stop it. Your 3v5 members are being stopped because the Nocturnes had knew the positions of every single player at that point. They were just taking fights and winning him at that point too. So, well, Sykes here as the Nook looking for position, looking for maybe somebody lacking on the side of Wichita Wolves who may not be aware of his position. So far, nobody from Wichita Wolves is really roaming that heavily. Looks like one trophy stairs though, but that's by sights the Jaeger of Abnai holding those trophy stairs. But so far, yeah, Freak may be the one that might get caught off, but otherwise, I think Freak's just kind of playing the alibi, running around. Pushing into dining actually could catch a Nocturns member off guard.
All right, right now, Nocturnes is trying to come up with some of the more standard counters to this position, but now with Sykes sneaking up, could catch one of them off guard, as you said, Benny. But now he'll rotate back down. They'll instead decide to play behind intel a little bit more. Sykes, of course, can stealth himself, hide himself from any cameras or intel-gathering devices, but never mind. They actually forego that drone, and they do catch him off guard, or they catch Freak off guard. And it's actually FICO to get that kill, not Sykes, but play overall still functioning properly. But there goes Abonai, catching a member of the attack off guard as well. Player watching that trophy window, unfortunately lacking a little bit, and now Abonai, who still has control of Solar Stairs, takes down a lot of those X-Kairos charges, finishes off FICO down below, but Nocturnes have still destroyed that mirror window. Not that mirror window. Oh yeah, no, it actually is that mirror window. Sitting on that panel looking into Solarium, and Abonai's position still holding it. If he lands the Street Fire, is a lot stronger now than it was a couple seconds ago.
Ooh, force of the kill of his own, and it looks like Abonai still playing this trophy stairs, but isn't he aware of Sykes right below him playing Harry Potter? Looks like the sound, you know, Sykes is using that silencing device to make it so that Abonai is not totally aware of his position, but so he's still watching though as a keen eye, waiting for someone to push up trophy stairs, expecting it from someone, but isn't he expecting it so close to the bottom of stairs? He is not aware. Well, he does try to react in time, but Sykes has that gunfight in advantage, so at that point it's still a 3v2 though. The members of Nocturne still have to make something happen in this execute, either get another pick or try and find a way on site, get that plant down as the time is ticking down. Only 30 seconds left to go, and do they have the intel they need to be aware of these positions of these players from Wichita Wolves?
This is sort of the issue with Nocturnes right now. Because of their man disadvantage, they can't send anybody over to that bedroom window or any to the standard cutoff angles that could make pushing into this side a lot easier, and they have to rely on Sykes and Exod getting kills on the entry, and then once Exod starts getting the bomb down, Sykes for the coverage. They might just be deciding to go for the frags, but as Exod rotates over, it makes it seem like maybe they're trying to go for the plant. They're not able to get one kill. Sykes gets one, but there's Forrest with the C4 to round things out. Might be back and forth, but now Wichita Wolves have achieved match point. So they've guaranteed themselves 1 point today. And if they win one more round, they'll get 3 for a regulation win.
Oh, can they go bar games though, actually?
They can't. Wait. Yes, they
can. Yeah, they can. So they can go bar games now, which, if you recall, last time they did bar games, it was that kind of chess game of just playing one player after another in those refrags and leaving it up to a 3v3 and still needing to clear, you know, the shield from top of library stairs, shield on top of pillar, which was unfortunately still difficult to do. So we'll miss this. Is this going to be the same round from the side of NKG? Would they fall for that again from Wichita Wolves? If it was intended to be like that, I don't know if it was actually, but last round was unfortunate for Nocturnes Gaming. They had maybe a thought with that Nook, but they really couldn't manifest it. Running into Abonai, playing those trophy stairs. Abonai tried to stay those trophy stairs the entire round. They still had players slaying stairs. They still had players below pushing up West Main. You saw, you know, it was the alibi of Freak that tried to play aggressive. It was dining room, but unfortunately gets caught off guard. But still, Abonai stayed there for the entire round and stopped anybody from pushing up in the Solarium. So there's really big work from Wichita Wolves, and we'll see if they can kind of do the same as they can this round.
Yeah, for Nocturnes, what we're going to need to see is hopefully if Wichita Wolves go for that same style of take, now they have that foresight and that knowledge going into this round of the type of defense Wichita Wolves are going for. A lot more coordinated of an attack. And of course, that's a broad statement. What exactly do we mean by that? Well, you had one player playing down below, one player playing on Solarium, and one player playing outside of piano, behind a shield, looking into piano. From there, if you know the player's downstairs, you're able to get that kill earlier, then at that point, stop, rotate over to Solar, and then try to pinch out Freak in that position. Thankfully, here, it appears that Wichita Wolves are playing a bit further back, so for Nocturnes, they don't actually have to worry about that Solarium player, and they can get in the building and start their attack a lot quicker than they could previously.
Well, is there a player? Is Mohes playing inside a trophy once again? I don't believe he is. I think
he's in basement.
Yeah, I think he's in basement. I think I saw a silhouette all the while back by garage actually. So it looks like, yeah, he's playing 90, playing blue. Oh, no. He pushes into. He's gonna push into wine and maybe push those members from behind and try and get a cheeky flank off. Actually, no, never mind. I lied. He's gonna pour it up and walk away. That's a good move too as well. Just, you know, leave it up. Waste time. Make sure that, you know, if they push downstairs, you hear them coming if they destroy that barricade. But Sykes is getting information, and Now the interesting question is, how will Nocturns deal with those shields? It's kind of going into that same kind of play you always see when it comes to this bar games. Just get rid of those shields by pillar, get rid of the shield by library stairs, get rid of Freak playing piano, which didn't happen unfortunately for Lackey.
Yeah. Try to swing out. Freak likely knew the Jackal's position, pre-fired, and thankfully managed to win the fight. And now, smart play by Freak. He'll rotate off. Not going to get aggressive. Not trying to push for more. He's got his pick. Not a lot of avenues Nocturns can contest that or get a refrag, so just back off, play the utility, and play the time. Of course, for Nocturns, they still have utility to clear out that shield and also positioning as well. Not only have they spotted Freak, they have an angle into office to get there, but he's got a second kill. He's found Exod. Even if he falls at this point, Freak has done his job and then some. He's finally downed. It's forced to actually deny the kill for Nocturns. So while Nocturns do have this position, Benny, it's a minute left, and Wichita Wolves still have control of the top floor, library stairs, and pillar.
And they lost the Thatcher too, so they can't get rid of the
And
ADSs.
they lost the Thatcher.
Yeah, they lost the Thatcher. They had to burn the ADSs in the discs that are placed within Book's hallway to keep that library shield alive. So really, it's pretty difficult for Nocturnes to turn this back. Sykes trying to make a different play, but everything's boarded up by Mohes. So if they break these barricades, maybe somebody, I'm not sure if somebody will hear it actually or not, or just make it difficult for Sykes to walk through them. But it is going to make it difficult to walk into garage. Like he's going for that snow stairs to push up, or those blue stairs to get a flank off. Fico maybe looking for somebody making a mistake on the side of Wichita Wolves. Looking around, trying to see somebody peeks out and gets aggressive with him. But remember those holes we saw before. The Jaeger of Abinai would shoot those holes from above to create angles. But there's somebody caught lacking its call out. Drip or Fico and Marmalade get two, but Mohes will fire back and kill Fico, but can they keep this out? Sykes actually controls stock. Marmalade's planting. Where is Mohes and Forest?
Right now, it appears that one is coming in from library. Managed to find the coverage from Marmalade in the 1v2. Will find one. She'll find the second one as well! Another miraculous 2K by Marmalade on Chalet. One in playoffs last stage, and now one here to send Nocturnes to overtime. Benny, to be honest, I might have preemptively called that round for Wichita Wolves. I did not anticipate them
Did you? You said they're gonna win that?
I might have started writing down that they had won that site, and they did not win it. I even turned on my likes. I thought we were going back on camera, but we did not.
Wow, no faith.
That was incredible.
No faith from here.
Listen, okay, you can say I have no faith, but let's just recreate the scene from that round, okay?
Hey,
Freak gets two. Freak
He does.
gets two on Wichita Wolves. Wichita Wolves, their philosophy was like, a lot of teams, when they're defending bar, they extend to the top floor, and they don't contest Master Bedroom office. What if we didn't do that? And they put Freak contesting Master Bedroom office. He gets 2 kills there. What more could you ask? He dies.
It was a Thatcher too.
Sure, he kills the Thatcher. Exactly. You still have library. You still have pillar. Nocturnes are like, crap. Well, we can't really clear out that position efficiently. Let's just rotate over and I don't know. We'll figure it out there.
I actually don't know how Sykes got into stock. I'm assuming he went up snow stairs and walked to the bar.
I'm assuming they rotated over. Yeah, went up snow stairs and managed to find his way into bar, but. If you genuinely think that Wichita Wolves should have lost that in a 4v3 in which they were sitting still, you are insane. You just have to give it to Nocturnes at that point. Whatever call they made it at the right place at the right time, and everyone won their fights. Wichita Wolves, they might have misstepped, but Nocturnes were there to capitalize off of it. And now Wichita Wolves, Benny, I think they're just going to send it into the site to try to get a quick round victory. Never mind, they're not. Okay, they're not. Not yet.
Not yet. Let's see what happens here. Maybe we'll finally get to the rush strat. We've seen one so far this round. We actually didn't see Nocturnes rush whatsoever, surprisingly. So we'll see if maybe Nocturnes pulls it out on their attacking round next round. But let us see. We go into bar games and see if Nocturnes, they can defend this bar games and keep themselves, maybe give them a round up and try and win it out in the next round onto their attacking round. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be Wichita Wolves trying to deal with these mirrors once again upstairs. They have caught alive this time, though. They should be able to open up these mirrors and push out these defenders upstairs and stop them from playing these positions.
All right, this is a bit of a difference of an attack, I will say, from Wichita Wolves. We've mostly seen teams clear from that solar side, but nobody directly on library. Well, that's not a good start. So, double C4 kill from Exod onto Mohes and Callout. Not a loss of the Thatcher, but that's probably only because Wichita Wolves aren't bringing one. Double C4 onto Benny, the Hibana, the sledge with nades, and the Ash. What are those useful for? The Hibana for clearing out those mirror windows. That lost them their first attack of bar and gaming. Now they've lost the Ash with her charges and her breaches, and the Sledge with his nades and his breaching hammer. That's all of your vertical and most of your utility destruction now completely gone because of one C4 and a couple well-placed shots. We still have 1:20 seconds left, and Wichita Wolves are in a 2v5.
Oh, Forrest with the F2's got to do something crazy, or you got to see Abonai pop off here to bring this round back.
He's 13-8 right now. Doing good so far.
He's gonna do so well, yeah. Abonai's doing pretty good here. Throws a grenade, throws a last grenade in his pocket, try and deal with that shield. Marmalade finishes off Forrest, who may have jumped in the window in Book's hallway, and now it's just Abonai to 1v5. He may take a second to just chill and talk to his team at this point, because they're not looking great coming into the next attacking round, where, well, it's been pretty even, actually. It's been even so far, so I guess attacking and defending doesn't really matter at this point.
Nocturns, I believe they defended bar twice and won it both times, so this was not looking the best for Wichita Wolves going in, but this has certainly been the worst attack so far from them. Abonai in the 1v5. It's a bit risky because you're in overtime, but at this point, you're going to be thankful Marmalade is sending those Shumika grenades over to you, because Wichita Wolves now are forced to take some time and go over what their mistakes have been. Of course, could still find a couple kills up top. That's where he's got to make something happen, but with the player still inside a pillar, one holding an angle on library, and one down in main lobby as well, this looks like Nocturne's moving to match point. Abonai could pad some of his stats. In fact, he will manage to get a kill onto Sykes, but after that one loss, Nocturnes are all rotating back down to the site. Abonai doesn't even have the diffuser. Lyco takes him down. Nocturnes are somehow miraculously on match point, but I say miraculously.
I say miraculously, that's not
You
true,
could say miraculously after that round that got into overtime. That round was not a miracle.
True.
That round was just played perfectly by Nocturnes.
Wichita Wolves have played barn games twice, won it once, lost it once?
Well, so, and they've attacked bar, or Nocturnes have defended bar twice, and they won it both times.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So I guess Wichita Wolves, I guess they don't really have. I guess what round? What's their best site so far? Actually, is it bedroom? I guess no.
Wichita Wolves' best site is actually pretty hit or miss. Their best site is technically basement, because they played it once and they've won it once. But every other site, bar played it once, lost it once. Master bedroom, office played it once, lost it once. Office, the site they're going to, they played it once, and I believe they lost it.
Oh yeah, because this was the round they jumped out, and they jumped out trophy, they jumped out trench, they lost this fight. So yeah, so this is so they're going to the site where they.
Oh no, sorry, they did win it once. Excuse me, I misread my notes. So they did win it once.
So they've lost. So they basically mostly at this point won it once, lost it once at most sites, really, except for basement.
But that's the issue. Nocturnes going to bar, that was a lot more solidified. They had a good track record on that site. Every other site, except for basement, every other site has been hit or miss for Wichita Wolves so far. They've either won it once or lost it once. Thankfully for them, they have won it most recently. They won it in round number 11.
Abonai was big thing on the trophy stairs. See if he did again.
Abonai was absolutely massive on trophy stairs. But here's the issue. Nocturnes were trying to take it almost exclusively from basement with barely any presence on the solar rappel.
True. Yeah.
They just focus a bit more on that, and never mind, they're just rotating their take entirely, so my bit of analysis doesn't matter. They're taking from library instead of solar.
Well, somebody's playing aggressive, though. Is it Mohes once again, like you've seen on this first floor running around? I believe it is. On the Malusi. Mohes once again now on the library stairs. Last time he was playing the Goyo, playing downstairs below, but looks like he does have help. Somebody's playing by him. It's Freak on the Mozzie. Looks like he's trying to push her that player instead of coach check. That. Oh, looks like I think they double swing or something.
Okay, double swing it may be a bit more reasonable. I was about to say, if you're going to solo swing that, you better be praying you're hitting your shots. But no, they'll in fact rotate off. And oh, that probably should not have happened. Saw Freak go down to about 1 HP. And Benny, what is it with the Hibanas dying so early on in this match so far? It gets Marmalade. That's that. Not only is that the diffuser, that was the player playing outside main door. There's nobody in a position able to refrag that kill. And in fact, everyone from Wichita Wolves will now start rotating off. Sykes continues to move forward. There is some intel on the defender from the Wolves, but they have all rotated back to site. They are not trying to throw away this man advantage right now.
That's a good call to make from the side of Wichita Wolves. And let's see if they can keep that man advantage. Freak is low in HP, though, so he'll need to play it back a little, play a bit passive when it comes to execute.
He's even lower than we last saw him. He was at like 25. Now he's at 1.
He got shot somewhere. But he must have been shot when he was running away because he was being jackal tracked. But Anyway, let's see now. Well, now they're gonna go into the execute. They have the Thatcher on board, but they have no hard breaching capability, so they can't get this office wall open. They can't even push into an execute, so they have to take kills, push into angles that Wichita Wolves have unlocked. Pre-fires come out from O'Hess. Exile Wolves dodge them for the moment. So he's looking around trying to find a pick from somewhere because they have to get some kind of refrag back. They gotta find some kind of weakness in the defense of Wichita Wolves because at this point, they can't open any walls. They gotta find a doorway to walk through or stairway to push up. Maybe they could rotate towards Solarium and go Solarium take? Hard to say.
Well, that's the problem is a library take is a lot more focused on hard breaching, so now you can't really rotate over to solar with 50 seconds left. Thankfully, FICO creeps on in, finds one, but because they're not able to clear out all these other positions, the crossfires and the angles and the gunfights are going the way of Wichita Wolves. Exiled will manage to find one on call out, hitting a flat Stanley maneuver in piano, but thankfully for him, Freak is on 1 HP, and never mind, he's dead. Freak's the one who got that kill. Wichita Wolves, because they just played their positions, and Freak's early pick onto Marmalade on the Hibana, they didn't win that round in the first 30 seconds, but they made it a lot easier to send on home.
Yeah, that just became a bloodbath at the end. They just had the, peak angles at which, like I said before, waiting and ready. And sure, it was close, though. You still saw Nocturns taking fights and winning some of them. But again, like I said, the crossfires were there. Wichita Wolves were expecting that to trade people out left and right, and they were ready for that. So in the end, unfortunate Nocturns lose their hard breaching when they need it most for the office take. And they didn't have time to really, or maybe the intent or the IGLing to rotate towards the Solarium take. So it had to be full frontal, take fights, see if we can win it out. So now we go on to all 15 rounds. We're on the last round of this map. And what's going to be going to kitchen and dining for Nocturns.
Kitchen and dining for Nocturns, by the way, in case you're wondering how this site was previously. Nocturns did win this site. In fact, they won it quite handily the first time they had defended it. If you recall, this was, I believe, Forest. Was it a 1v5, Benny, or a 2v5? Yeah, no, this was the round where it was a 2v5. I don't remember if it was Forest or somebody else got 2 kills, and then Forest was in a 1v3, put the bomb down. Everyone was conga lining down libraries, down trophy stairs.
Trophy stairs, yeah.
And they still managed to get the kill. So Nocturns have I believe it's.
Oh, that's why they conga line, because they reinforced the hatch.
Oh, yeah, that'd be it. That would be it. Why they would conga line? Well, I mean, they could make holes. They could. They have a secondary shotgun. They have Exod. And Sykes on the Bailiff. We know Nocturns loves their Bailiff. Unless Sykes is planning to use all his shots for some sort of, I don't know, calamitous engagement where he has to switch to it. I don't know.
Well, let's see if they can clear this roam and not have a disastrous take like last time. And, well, let's see if they can do. Where is Wichita Wolves going to push from this time? If they're going to hold off on the balcony?
Looking like Solar.
It does look like a solo take, and it's been, hit or miss when they do this kind of take, but having Mohes here covering their back and, maybe Nocturns will take fights and lose their members on those engagements that Wichita Wolves are expecting could be the, the spelling of them losing this round. Hard to say, but so far they're going to drone out, see what's going on the top floor. Hopefully, look like they're trying to expect someone to aggress and take fights, but nobody from Nocturns is doing that. They're all sticking back, waiting for people to get on these windows. Force can open the big window, look if you find somebody, but otherwise, I guess the question is, how is Nocturns going to deal with that big window take? Because Force is kind of a big thing here, just cutting the top floor in half.
That is the issue. I got caught up on the Nocturns tangent. I forgot to mention that the second time that Nocturns defended this site, Wichita Wolves went from a library take to a solar take, and it went a lot better. Now, of course, it started out, Marmalade peeked the book's window, and Mohes watching that very angle. Took her down, opening pick, untraded right now. Sykes is in a similar position, but Nocturns are playing a lot more reserve. They are just sitting in their positions, not getting antsy, not taking fights with anybody on Wichita Wolves. Abonai right now is contesting with that Solarium Stairs, and Mohes for another attack onto dining has got the opening pick. He's playing that bedroom window, sees one potentially running out from down below. He's got to watch that angle because if they lose that position, it's going to be a lot more difficult to make work. And now with Freak entering in, could have been big, but Exile shuts him down.
Exile was waiting for her. The shots come through. Fico pushing up. We'll get a shot on Abonai pushing down those trophy stairs. Sykes has gone down though, but it looks like this is mainly going to be a trophy west main take from the side of Wichita Wolves. Marmalade aggresses, trying to fight back, but Call-Up be ready for that fight and take it down. It's a 3v3 here, picking up Sykes. recovering them, but Nocturnes are kind of in the disadvantage here when it comes to health. Fico's got a big fight here, lying down by a softball. This could spell his death.
Oh.
Forrest takes on Exxon, is now down to just Sykes and Fico. And there was an aggressive Sykes. Sykes tries to flank, and now it's just Fico. And unfortunately, Fico is already low HP, but has New's position, and it's Wichita Wolves to take it 8-7.